At yun na nga mga kabayan, nagkaroon na nga ng hearing sa Senado sa pangunguna nga ni Senator Amy Marcos kaugnay sa pagtanggap nga di umano ng mga Afghanistan refugees na siyang ipinipilit sa atin ng Amerika. At dito nga sa sinasagawang Senate hearing, medyo nagkabuhol-buhol nga ang kwento itong Secretary of DFA o Department of Foreign Affairs sa di umano'y request ng Amerika upang may pasok nga sa ating bansa ang mga Afghanistan refugees. Ayon nga sa kanya, informal daw na sinabi sa kanya ng mga delegado ng bansang Amerika ang nasabing pagpapasok ng mga Afghanistan refugees sa ating bansa. Ngunit sa pagtatanong na Senator Amy Marcos, lumalabas na nagkaroon pala ng meeting kaugnay dito at dagdag pa ni DFA Secretary ay nagpaabiso naman daw siya sa ilang ahensya ng ating bansa tulad ng PNP, DND at iba pa. Ngunit ito'y itinanggi ng DND at ng PNP. Mukhang merong inililihim itong si Secretary of DFA sa ating lahat kaugnay nga dito sa pagpapapasok ng mga di umano'y refugees galing Afghanistan. Sa tingin mo kabayan, may itinatago ba itong Secretary of DFA? Comment mo nga sa baba at huwag mo nga kalimutang i-hit ang like at subscribe button para updated ka sa mga uploads ka araw-araw kabayan. Panoorin natin ang kabuuan ng video ito.
When was the DOJ, the DND, the NSA, perhaps we can go through the list, when were you made aware of the request of the U.S.? We call on the DOJ, please. I think there are several representatives. When were you apprised of the request? Anyone from the DOJ was informed at any point in time? The DND? When were you made aware of the request?
Madam Chair, insofar as our records are concerned, when it was in December of 2022.
Was it from the DFA, from Washington, or from the
I
State
believe it was
Department
from the
direct?
DFA, Madam Chair.
From the DFA. Is this a letter?
I will find out, Madam Chair. I would suppose it would have been written merely through meetings, according to Assistant
Sorry?
Secretary Lorenzo. Merely through convening of meetings, Madam Chair.
Meetings.
Yes.
The convening of meetings, are these the June meetings? The earlier June meetings? Or is this an earlier occurrence?
No, Your Honor, it was December of last year.
December
Madam
pa
Chair.
yung meeting?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sige. Okay, paano yung DOJ? Kailan ninyo nabalitaan itong request na to?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I stand corrected.
sorry.
I was reminded by Secretary Manalo that it was October of last year.
As
that
early as
they
October.
convened. Yes, Madam Chair.
Was that the meeting or referral of the said request? Secretary Manalo, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In fact, it was informal. It was an interagency. And in fact, if I could just read off the agencies who were there.
Yes, if you could, thank you.
Yes, the meeting that we had called for was attended by representatives from, of course, the DFA, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, Department of Justice, Department of National Defense, and the National Intelligence Coordinating Council, and the Philippine National Police. This was on October 28th.
So it is correct, therefore, does the DOJ corroborate the same that you were formally called to a meeting by the DFA on October of last year, together with the rest of the agencies?
We confirm, Madam Chair, that there was such a interagency meeting of which the DOJ was a part of.
Thank you. So does NICA have the same in their records, please?
Madam Chair, as far as NICA is concerned, this was discussed formally last 20th ATC conference, 26th of April 2023. And
So as far as NICA was concerned, you were only told in April?
this was discussed 26th April 20th of the ATC, Anti-Terrorism Council.
I'm
was
sorry,
the-
I'm not hearing you properly.
NICA is the secretariat of the Anti-Terrorism Council, and this was formally discussed before the body chaired by E.S. Bersamin, and that
When?
was 26 of April 2023.
Only in 2023. Hindi kayo kasama dun sa October and December. Is that correct?
Part.
Okay, what about the BI? Immigration, please. Kailan kayo nasabihan?
As far as BI is concerned, ma'am, we only attended the June 2, 2023 interagency meeting. It was the first time that our presence was requested.
Right. That's the same as our information. Is there anyone from Muslim Affairs and DepEd? They were similarly called, the ICT, the OST, is that correct? Yes, Attorney Guro, please.
Yes, Madam Chair. As far as the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos, we were only informed also of a notice of a meeting. So we were invited to the June 7 meeting.
Okay. Anyone from DepEd?
Good
Kailan kayo
afternoon, Madam
nakapida? Yung
Kami
request
po,
ni-
I confirm that we also attended the June 7 meeting, but as far as the records would bear, this came to the attention of the Department of Education back in March 22, 2023, when there was a letter from Director General De Leon asking the Vice President to comment on the subject proposal.
I see. Have you commented?
Yes, ma'am. The Department of Education submitted a comment that was signed by the Vice President last April 20, 2023 to NICA, to Director General De Leon, and I've already also submitted a copy of our comment to the Secretariat for your perusal.
Thank you. Yes, I'm not yet in receipt. I'm sorry I was not able to read it. The NBI, kailan kayo nasabihan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I received a letter last April 20 from the Anti-Terrorism Council where we were required to submit our comments and inputs.
So magkasabay kayo ng NICA?
Yes, ma'am. And then we attended the meeting last June 7
Yeah.
at the Presidential Management Staff.
Magkakapareho kayo.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? PNP? Nasabihan ba kayo kagad?
Yes, ma'am. For the Philippine National Police, we received an email last October 24, 2022.
I see. And I see Mr. Libardo raising his hand there.
Madam Chair, from the National Security Council, Deputy Director General Nestor Jerico, we received a departmental level from the DFA, from Undersecretary for Civilian Security and Consular Affairs, dated 2 November 2022. And we replied their departmental letter as of 15 November 2022, Madam Chair.
Okay. Since you were informed through the DFA, but was any of you furnished a copy of the U.S. request? If so, when did you receive said copy of the U.S. request? Secretary Manalo, was there a U.S. request? You said there was. Is that correct? You said that there was a formal request, as a matter of fact?
It
You
was
said earlier? Is that
it's a
correct?
formal request in the form of a concept note.
Yes. So was the concept note then cascaded to all the relevant agencies like the DND, the DOJ, etc.? Or did you keep it confidential?
Initially, once we got it, we just informed the agencies who I'd mentioned, the DOJ, DND, NICA, Philippine National
Informed means you told them, but did not provide a copy of the concept letter. Is that correct?
We did. We invited them to a meeting, and in fact, the general consensus.
But
at
he
that-
seems to be ignorant of the other resource person seemed to be ignorant of the existence of a concept.
Well,
no?
we did not invite them yet because we didn't know who would exactly be involved. But from our initial assessment, we thought the one
So the concept note was given to whom, please?
to the
DND lang. DFA lang at DND yan. Yung sa umpisa,
we gave it
yung
to
October.
we gave it to the agencies whom we invited. In fact,
sino-sino po? 'Cause so far, DND
DND,
seems to be the only one who've been invited in
DND,
20...
AFP, PNP,
Come again, can we start? DND, AFP, PNP,
NICA,
NICA.
and then those were the four we had invited initially,
Okay,
and DOJ. We had
DOJ. Can these 5 agencies confirm the receipt of said concept note from the United States?
Madam Chair, insofar
Yes.
as our records are concerned, I confirm receipt by our Assistant Secretary for Strategic Assessment and International Affairs on
Thank you very
21
much.
October.
on October.
Yes, ma'am. A letter from the DFA which there to attach a proposal for bilateral cooperation to support the
Okay.
processing of Afghan special.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much from the Secretary. DOJ?
We confirm, Madam Chair, that we are also we were also in receipt of the concept note
In October?
in October.
Okay. AFP and PNP as well as NICA. Kanina sinabi niyo, Abril na lang kayo nasabihan. Meron ba? Wala. Kanina kasi, ang pagkasabi, April 26, 2023 was the first notion you had during the meeting of the Anti-Terror Council. Did you, or did you, did you receive?
Madam Chair, I will confirm that it was discussed last 26 April, but I was checking on the record that we received a notice from NSA 30 March of 2023.
March 2023. So you never received the U.S. concept note?
It was a letter coming from our NSA, not a concept note.
No concept note. So, there seems to be some discrepancy in the transmission. The three agencies, AFP and PNP, similarly received it later in the day, right?
Ma'am, for the PNP, we received it on October 24, 2022.
Oh, kanina sabi mo Marso na, Abril.
No, ma'am, October 24, 2022.
Oh, okay. Kanina iba kasi eh. All right, yung AFP.
Good afternoon, ma'am. From the AFP,
Okay.
we received the memo from the DND dated 25 October. So,
Okay.
yes, ma'am. Of 2022.
So DND, but no concept note?
Request for comments lang po, ma'am, ang ni-request sa amin.
No concept. So both the AFP, the PNP, and the NICA, both the AFP and the NICA did not receive the concept note, in fact. That's correct? Because the PNP now says that they actually received it. Pero yung AFP, wala? O baka nakakabit dyan, naka-annex? Baka naka-annex lang yan. Nakakabit. So AFP in fact got it. Yung NICA did not get it. Still, Dick, parang wala.
I'm checking my record,
All right.
Madam Chair.
That's fine. Yes, and we recognize Senator Tolentino. You're encouraged to butt in at any point in time. Is this the usual procedure for requests? Of course, this is not usual business at all. But prior to the resolution filed by myself on June 8th, was there any press release on the part of the Philippine Embassy in Washington, D.C., the DFA, or any other government agency concerning the request of the United States and the course of action that the government plans to take? The Philippine government plans to take. Nag-anunsyo na kayo, nag-press release, o pinag-usapan na ba to? In any public forum at all?
No, Madam Chair, because we were still consulting and trying to assess the implications of this proposal. So nothing was final in that sense because we were still trying to collate all the views. And if I could just mention that after some consultations with the interagency, it was decided to raise it to a higher level in April. And this was when we went to the Anti-Terrorism Council. That was the one in April. And because we felt it should be now considered at a slightly higher level than the technical working level. Then I think the ATC, if I recall correctly, then recommended it be elevated to cabinet level for further consideration. So we tried to follow all the steps by first consulting all the agencies. And in fact, I could give later a list of the representatives, at least of the October meeting. And in fact, the purpose of that meeting was to discuss the concept note provided by the United States and to give preliminary, observations. And then we proceeded to hold a few more interagency meetings on it to collate the observations of the various agencies. And when we reached the point in April, we had enough of these observations. We decided it's time now to raise it to the higher level or the ATC in April, I think.
Thank you. We appreciate your prudence and determination to raise it to as high a level as possible. Because until this moment, the terms of the proposal and request of the United States are still shrouded in mystery as far as the public as well as the Senate is concerned. Are you free to share with us some of the terms of said request, even only in the concept note? And we have here Senator Tolentino, I think, who's
But in Madam Chair,
also.
are we referring to the same IAC created by virtue of EO 163? Is this the same?
Oh, no. That's the old one of President Duterte.
So we have a new one?
No, not yet.
Because this was circa 2022.
Yes.
Nabago na ba yan?
Wala pa. That's
So,
from
iba yun,
President
iba yun.
Duterte.
I had mentioned Mr. Senator.
Late, I'm sorry, I'm late.
The ATC, the Anti-Terrorism
Okay.
Council.
Yes.
This
Senator Tolentino, what we're trying to determine is how the request was made from the United States. And apparently a concept note was provided by Ambassador Romualdez, forwarded to the DFA, reiterated thereafter by the State Department, and thereafter cascaded to a number of agencies. Not all of the agencies thereafter involved, but some of the primary cabinet level ones were already informed. However, in the interest of transparency, are you able to share with us how many Afghan nationals in total the U.S. intends to temporarily house in the Philippines? How many on a per month or a per batch basis would be housed in this country? I think Senator Jinggoy already mentioned our gaping housing gap locally, and the sudden urgency to house aliens and non-nationals suddenly taking primordial concern. Secretary Manalo, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, we have not gone into that kind of detail in our informal consultations with the United States, because they have come back now and again over the past few months to discuss some of the issues involved. All I can say at this point, and I say that because there's really nothing agreed yet, but it seems that there is the possibility, if we were able to have any kind of arrangement, we would be having perhaps a pilot group, maybe a limited number. Now, we haven't even discussed that number yet. To first, we could first see how that pilot group would work, and then we would decide on how to proceed after that. But we have not gone beyond that issue, other than to say we might have a pilot group. But what I can say are the following, and these appear in the concept note and also after further informal talks with the United States. We understand from the U.S. that all Afghans who will be traveling with valid passports and will have already, before they were to arrive, if they were to arrive here, would already have undergone rigorous security vetting and background checks to verify that they have indeed previously worked for the U.S. government, because these will be Afghans who had worked before with the U.S. government. And we've also been informed that all costs would be shouldered by the United States government. Also, the United States would, with Philippine officials, try and select a suitable site where they could be located while they are being processed or vetted. It would, of course, be up to the Philippines. We also mentioned that to them, that if any arrangement, it would be up to the Philippines to impose mobility restrictions and internal movements within the Philippines. The U.S. also committed to us that in the event there are Afghans who come here for processing, that no one would be left behind in the Philippines. And that includes even those who may be denied an SIV, whom we expect will be removed to another country outside the Philippines as soon as their maximum allowable period of stay expires. And therefore, any agreement we feel on this effect with the U.S. must contain provisions regarding the removal of those denied an SIV. There are also a number of points I could.
Yes, Secretary, we're in receipt of your briefer. Thank you very much.
At hanggang dito na lang, no, mga kabayan, at huwag mo kang kalimutang i-hit ang like at subscribe button para updated ka sa mga uploads ko araw-araw. Hanggang sa muli, paalam!
Ang tayog ng ulan, gusto kong sisirin ang lalim ng dagat, gusto kong akyatin ang tuktok ng bundok, tuklasin ang hiwagang sa puso ko.